Welcome everyone to Legends of Professional Wrestling. Oh, we're going to start the year with a big one. We got a great array of professional wrestling this week. From the Boston Gardens, that's right, we're going to be showing you the Mat Classics from the Boston Garden, the best of the Battle Royals in the Rocky Raymond collection. That's right. Often imitated but never duplicated, not in this lifetime. It's Rocky Raymond, the Boston bad boy, the wrestling historian. And as you can see, lined up here are all the great Mat Classics that you can see right here on the Grade 8, whether it be the best of Pedro Morales, whether it be the best of all these Bob Backlund, we got the best of the Valiant Brothers, we got the best of Fiery Fred Blassie, and we got the best of Andre the Giant, and of course, we got the best of Bruno Sammartino. Cameraman, zoom in on that Bruno Sammartino DVD. All the best shots of Bruno Sammartino right here. There it is. And that's the Madison Square Garden picture where he won the championship from Stan the Man Stasiak, and the referee Nick Kroll, and the announcer, as well as you can see the half of Arnold Skolin, the golden boy Arnold Skolin. And we got the great array of Battle Royals going back. We're going to start the Battle Royals off in 1979 with the best of Andre the Giant and also the best of the Battle Royal, which Andre the Giant participated in, with the great feud with the Valiant Brothers, Handsome Jimmy, Luscious Johnny, right here on Legends of Professional Wrestling. We get that tape going, show that first Battle Royal right here on Legends.
It's a big annual Battle Royal featuring Andre the Giant from the Boston Garden. This is the one I told you about. Superstar Billy Graham. Look like Big Stan Hansen in there, the man that broke Sammartino's neck. Jimmy, Johnny, and Jerry the Valiant. Pat Patterson. I believe Dominic DeNucci's in there. Dick the Bulldog Brawler, Power. The Iron Sheik, Swede Hansen. All the big names. Bobby Duncan. Unbelievable. Gorilla Monsoon, the Manchurian Giant. The unpredictable one, Johnny Rods, is in there. Jose Estrada is in there. Oh, we got them all right here. Tony Altamori, the late, great Tony Altamori, one half of the Sicilians. Oh, yeah. Wrestled in the 50s all the way up. Tony Altamori. And get ready for the action. Here it is. Sweet Hansen's in there. The Sheik, Patterson, the Valiants, Jimmy, Johnny, Jerry. Andre the Giant featured in this one, the big Battle Royale. Gorilla Monsoon. Oh, boy. Tony Altamori's in there. Watch out for Tony Altamori. He might pull out a Sazicula. And we got the great Ivan Putski in there, battling out with the Sheik. And Pat Patterson's in there now. He's going back and forth with, I believe, Ted DiBiase at this particular time. A young Ted DiBiase in the corner. We got the Valiants and Johnny Rods. We got Big Sweet Hansen, the Crusher, in the far corner. We got Pat Patterson. He's battling out with, I believe, Johnny Rivera. And there goes one outside the ring. Who could that be? That might have been, I believe, one of the Cowboys. Bobby Duncan, I believe. And we got Andre the Giant, got Patterson in the middle of the ring in a big chokehold. Patterson way up in the rafters. That's high elevation. Ivan Putski wandering around, the Iron Sheik behind him. Watch out for that Sheik from Iran, Tehran. The Sheik's number one. Iran number one, you know him. You know what he got to say about USA. And DiBiase and the Sheik now, and Big Sweet Hansen jumping on the back, Andre the Giant. Johnny Rods going back and forth. Jimmy, Johnny, and Jerry, they're sticking together as a team. And Gorilla Monsoon's in there. Watch out for the big Gorilla. Gorilla Monsoon in the far corner. We got DiBiase with Dick the Bulldog Brawler. I believe we got Andre the Giant on the other side. Who's he in there with? Trying to get the Iron Sheik out. Big Jerry Valiant over there with Big Sweet Hansen. Dick the Bulldog Brawler with the other Valiant. Jimmy in the corner with Monsoon. DeNucci and the Valiant going at it. And Estrada's in the other corner. Unbelievable action here on the great Mat Classics from the Boston Garden. Needless to say, this viewing pleasure to all you wrestling fans. Once in a lifetime. You can only get these on DVD. You can only get them from me, BDB. often imitated but never duplicated. It's Rocky Raymond onto the Giant and the Sheik now. The Sheik looks like he's on his way out. See you later, Sheik. And in the far corner, we got Andre the Giant with the Valiant brothers headbutting Jimmy. Jerry looks on. Oh boy, Putski's off the ropes now. Johnny Valiant. Johnny Rods takes a backdrop by Jose Estrada. Monsoon got his hands on somebody. Dick the Bulldog Bowers in the other corner resting. In the other corner, we got here. Looks like 2 or 3 different guys. Oh! Johnny Valiant. Dick the Bulldog Bauer. Monsoon. Danucci. Jimmy with DiBiase. There goes somebody. There goes Dominic Danucci. Got thrown off by the Manchurian Giant, Gorilla Monsoon. Unbelievable wrestling action. These are the great mat classics from the Boston Garden. These matches will never be seen again. Only here on the great mat classics from the Boston Garden. With me, it's BBB, better known as Rocky Raymond. Andre the Giant looking on now. They look like they're going to form a 6-man tag. Looks like it's the Giant, Monsoon, and DiBiase against Jimmy, Johnny, and Jerry, the Valiant brothers from New York City. And they're getting their strategies down, as you see, Andre. Here comes the big Gorilla Monsoon on the back of the Giant, crushing Jimmy in the corner. Oh my good God. Pancake City. It looks like Monsoon's trying to get Jerry out with DiBiase. And it looks like the Giant, they're trying to get the Giant looped up in the rope. Trying to loop him up, loop him and dope him. Monsoon walking around, he's chopping you like a frisbee, making you spin all around. And it looks like Jimmy's up on top of Monsoon's back. Johnny's going to the top rope. Looks like Monsoon, Monsoon's out caught with that double axe handle to the top of the head. Looks like Jimmy and Johnny trying to get Monsoon out. Oh, the ring broke. Monsoon busted the ropes. Johnny's got DiBiase over the top. Jimmy shot him over. All 3 on the Giant. They're using those ropes now. They're choking out the Giant. They're trying to choke out this big oak tree. 7'4", Grenoble, France. Legend in professional wrestling. And it looks like Jimmy, Johnny, and Jerry on top of the Giant now. Eddie Santa Maria outside the ring now. And they're putting pressure on the... Oh my good God, the Giant pushed off. Jimmy can't believe the unbelievable strength of this Giant. Johnny, Jerry, Jimmy. Unbelievable action here at the Great Mat Classics. And they're tying up the Giant. Look at Jimmy. Jimmy's being cocky. They're boot to the midsection now as Jerry and Johnny hold up the big Giant. The big Giant getting the boots put to him by handsome Jimmy Valiant off the ropes. Oh, a clubbing forearm now by Jimmy Valiant. He's backing up again. He's going to club him again. Oh, he got caught with that big boot. Sending Jimmy out. Oh, he slammed them together. There goes Johnny. And it looks like Gentleman Jerry. Oh, he's caught alone with the big 7'4" Andre the Giant. Oh, no. Jerry wants his way out. Oh, there's a big right hand now across the kisser. Coming that big headbutt now, Andre the Giant. Holy canoe. Oh, no, not another one. Big atomic knee drop coming up. See you later, Jerry. And the winner of this annual Battle Royale from Grenoble, France, 7'4", over 500 pounds, Andre the Giant. Andre the Giant, the winner of this annual Battle Royal from the Mat Classics from the Boston Garden.
All right, we're back here. Legends of professional wrestling tonight. We got all the great lineups of the Battle Royals, and I got to tell you some of the names. If you people remember, handsome Jimmy Valiant from New York City, his brother, Gentleman Jerry from New York City, and of course, luscious Johnny Valiant, the great Hussein back in the day from Iran, better known as the Iron Sheik, Dick the Bulldog Brower from Toronto, Canada, Pat Patterson from San Francisco, Swede Hansen from Charlotte, North Carolina, Big Bad Bobby Duncombe from Austin, Texas, Ivan Putski from Krakow, Poland, Johnny Rods, the unpredictable one from New York City, Jose Estrada from Puerto Rico, Larry Zbyszko, the living legend Bruno Sammartino's protege from Pittsburgh, PA, Dominic DeNucci from Italy, Ted DiBiase from Omaha, Nebraska, Tony Altamori, Tito Santana from Mexico, Gorilla Monsoon, the Moncharian Giant from New Jersey, and of course the winner of that battle royal was the eighth wonder of the world, Andre the Giant from Paris, France. Okay, cameraman, let's zoom in on this particular picture of Ted DiBiase before he became the $1 Million Man. Ted DiBiase, a young Ted DiBiase, the great Mad Classics. He came into the WWF, became the North American champion. I believe he came in, and then he beat Pat Patterson for the Intercontinental Champion, of course. And we also know that basically he became the $1 Million Man in the later stages of his career. And the Mad Classics this week, we hope you're going to enjoy them. And the Boston Garden, I used to go to the Boston Garden each and every month with my EPW cam, better known as the Bruno Sammartino cam now. And I want to yell out to my friend out there, the Dohertys on, I believe, Gage Ave, watching the show. All the Dohertys, all the great Dohertys, the family there in Revere. We used to hang out with the Hittinges. We used to hang around with the Webbs. We used to have the great rides down on the hill, the snowy days on those flexible flyers with Larry Hittinger and Joyce Hittinger. We had the best sleigh rides going. You kids don't know anything about sledding now, because we used to go down the street by people's, they used to shovel, we used to put the snow back on there and go by all the way down Thornton Street from the top to the bottom. We want to give a yell out to all the old timers from Thornton Street all the way up to Franklin Ave, and we hope you enjoyed the Mac Classics, and we got a great one this week. As we can zoom in, cameraman, on some of these DVDs. These are the Rocky Raymond collections. You can also check out all the great things. You got Andre the Giant, the best of Andre the Giant, the best of Madison Square Garden with Fred Blassie, and the bloody Fred Blassie from Madison Square Garden. Then you move on over to the best of Bob Backlund, as well as all the other great ones. Bruno Sammartino, the best of the Valiant Brothers, Handsome Jimmy and Luscious Johnny, all the great matches from the Boston Garden. And as you can see over a little more, you got Pedro Morales, that shot of him with the WWF Championship. And there's all these great things, and you want to know what's going on with Empire Pro Wrestling? You want to know what's going on with all the great shows we got coming up? We had Marshfield Fair this year. Some of you people might have watched Marshfield Fair on the Great 8 with Bruce the Barber Beatcake. You can look us up on EmpireProWrest.com. You can see what we can be doing, where the shows are going to be coming. And basically, I am only able to say so much on cable TV and talk about the wrestling. I can really go into some, you can look up it on EmpireProWrest.com, and we can also see all the things that are going on. Like I said, we got the Marshfield Fair coming up again this year. We hope to bring in Axe Demolition, maybe the Warlord, maybe some legends of professional wrestling, and all the great things that we're going to have coming to you in 2008. So don't hesitate. Watch us each and every week, the legends of professional wrestling. That's right, we're here. We're going to see some great footage this week, so call your friends up, tell them Rocky Raymond's on with the legends from the Boston Garden. All you people remember, these are the real pro wrestlers. These are the men of professional wrestling. These are the days where you got professional wrestling. You didn't get people on the microphone for 20 and 30 minutes talking about what they're going to do. They got in the ring and they did their business. Also, I want to, cameraman, why don't you zoom in on this particular book? I got this book, Brody. It's the best of all the times of Bruiser Brody. All you people may remember that Bruiser Brody was murdered in Puerto Rico by Jose Gonzalez. And basically what had happened, the book has many chapters of, where it happens, his wife, how he met his wife in Australia, and how they moved on, and how Bruiser Brody was a great independent wrestler and kept the independence sort of going. And I was really impressed with this book, because at the end of this book, Bruiser Brody was wrestling for the USWF, which was located in Malden, Mass, with I Messiah booked Bruiser Brody on his last venture in the United States before he had gone to Puerto Rico and ended up getting in that problem with Jose Gonzalez in the dressing room. And in the back of the book, it was mentioned Richard Burns had booked him at the Malden High School, which I was part of that particular show, and it sort of gave me, oh, that's great, but the vibes from it is unbelievable, some of the things of this book. I mean, I got to show you a couple of pictures here. There's a great picture of him in Japan, and I believe it's a picture with him and Stan Hansen, I believe. Cameraman, if you can zoom in on this particular, I don't know which way we're going here. You can zoom in on it. Zoom in on, there it is. Stan Hansen and Bruiser Brody in Japan. I don't know if you can see that, and another picture of Bruiser Brody also in a bloody match in Japan, and then the other one with Bruiser Brody and Stan Hansen, which were very, very popular in Japan and made some big, big paydays in Japan. As you well know, Bruiser Brody was an independent wrestler. Here's another good shot of Bruiser Brody. I don't know, you can zoom in on that if you can, with Bruiser Brody in Japan with one of the Japanese wrestlers, as well as another publicity shot with him with the chain. He was a great, great professional wrestler, and he really stood up for his rights as far as independent wrestling goes. He's a great legend. If you can check that book out, you can probably get it one of these bookstores, but it's a very, very good book to read. I'm at the end of it, the last 10 pages. I was very impressed with the book, happy with the situation. Not so happy that Bruiser Brody's not around, because he was a great professional wrestler and stood up for the independents, because he would go anywhere. He didn't care. These bookers, he'd tell them, "I'll go here." He really never stayed in one territory for a long time. As you know, he ventured in world class. He also wrestled in Japan a lot. One of the biggest paid wrestlers in Japan, going from Inoki to Baba, back and forth with that little feud. You can get the book and read all the great, great things about Bruiser Brody. It's a real good, good book, so try to pick that up. And let's go to that second Battle Royal from the Boston Garden, because this week on Legends, it's the Battle Royals on Mac Classics, as well as the Legends of Professional Wrestling. So let's go to that Battle Royal number 2.
And we're back here from the Boston Garden, the best of the Battle Royals, the annual Battle Royals from the Boston Garden, all the great, great action. And in this Battle Royal tonight, we got Big Bruiser Brody, we got the Executioners, Gas House Gilbert, Tor Kamata, Billy White Wolf, Larry Zbyszko, Johnny Rhodes, Manuel Soto, Pete Sanchez, Pistol Pete Sanchez. Oh yeah, we got them all right here. Stan the Man Stasiak in there, as well as Big Nikolai Volkov, as well as the Olympic strongman Ken Patera. Oh yeah, the winner of this match will get a shot at the living legend Bruno Sammartino. Oh, the Worldwide Wrestling Federation Championship. Johnny Rivera's in there. Chief J Strongbow's in there. SD Special Delivery Jones. Baron Mikel Cicluna. The names go on and on right here at this annual Battle Royal. We hope you enjoyed the best of Andre the Giant, the little footage that we had. And they're going at it right here at the Boston Garden. It's wild action. Executions in there against Johnny Rivera, Patera and Johnny Rivera. It looks like, yes, Pat Patterson's in the corner with the Executioner. Ken Patera's battling it out with Johnny Rivera. Doug Gilbert's in there. Gas House Doug Gilbert. SD Jones is in there. They're trying to get someone over that top rope. Nikolai Volkov and the Executioner. Nikolai hits Johnny Rhodes. SD Special Coco Jones is in there. Gonzalez eye-rakes Nikolai. They're trying to work on Patera. The Executioners are working on Patera. Pat Patterson, better known as Patricia Patterson in the underworld, is in there. Johnny Rhodes clips Billy White Wolf. Big Bruiser Brody's in there, as well as Stan the Man Stasiak with the hot punch. SD Delivery Jones looking for a piece of chicken in the middle of the ring, as well as I believe in the corner we got someone going at it. Looks like Torquemada. Pat Patterson's in there. SD Special Delivery Jones and Patera. Nikolai Volkov got hold of Brody. Johnny Rivera smashing down on him. Gas House Gilbert takes a wild swing at Billy White Wolf while Nikolai Volkov holds on. And SD Special Delivery Jones and Sanchez put the boots to Torquemada. Doug Gilbert breaks it up. The Executioner clips the side of SD Special Delivery Jones as SD headbutts Doug Gilbert. Patera's in the corner with Patterson. Johnny Rogers is on the back of Patterson. Larry Zbyszko with Gas House Gilbert in the corner. Stasiak picking his spots. Nikolai and Stasiak just threw out Johnny Rivera. They're trying to get Patera over the top rope over here. We got the executions with the mask on backwards. Johnny Rogers and Pete Sanchez now going after the execution. Sanchez clips Rogers. It's wild here. It's a battle royal. It's a wild battle royal. Torquemada taking a break in the corner. Baron Mikel gets a shot by Johnny Rogers. They're all going crazy here. And it looks like Pistol Pete Sanchez was going to clock somebody. And Patterson and Stasiak are going at it. Jose Gonzalez and Johnny Rogers going at it. Executions are still in there. Nikolai's still in there. Zbyszko's in there. Big Nikolai Volkov. He's a big one. He's the man. He's the big one. As you see outside the ring go two people. SD Joe. There goes Patera. Larry Zbyszko drop kick Patera out. And Gonzalez and Zbyszko are celebrating. Oh, he hammers him again with a forearm. Strongbow on the executioner in the corner now. Patera up on the table. He wants back in. He wants to get back in this battle royal. But to no avail. Patterson's still in there. And it looks like Johnny Rogers almost went over. Gonzalez came close to going over that top rope also. Oh yeah, this is the end of top rope battle royal. Over the top. And it looks like Gas House Gilbert now hammering down on Zbyszko again. Nikolai and Billy White Wolf. The execution still. The Strombow's going into his dance against Stasiak now. Big boot to the midsection of Stasiak. Followed up by a chop, a boot, another boot, and another chop. And Stasiak's all over the place. Trying to get Stasiak out. Billy White Wolf and Strongbow. Oh, they came close, but to no avail. The executions are still in there. Johnny Rogers in there. Baron McAllister Kluna. As well as Nikolai Volkov and Johnny Rogers in the far corner. Pete Sanchez taking a break. There goes one of the executioners. Two of the executioners. The Indians and the executioners now. All balled up now like a big snowball. And they roll right over that top rope as Johnny Rogers gives a helping hand. In the corner, you got Torquemada now. Just taking a break. You got Stasiak, Gonzalez, Rogers, Pete Sanchez, and Stasiak. Nikolai. Oh, there goes Johnny Rogers. He gets thrown over by Pistol Pete Sanchez. And you got Baron McAllister Kluna, Jose Gonzalez, Stasiak. Look at the big Baron. The Baron's taking it on his own. Oh, looks like two men throw him out. There goes big Baron McAllister Kluna, big Nikolai on the back now of Gonzalez. Oh, we're going to turn this one into a six-man tag. Big Torquemada gets up now after his big rest. Stasiak, Kamata. And it looks like we got Gonzalez, Sanchez, and Zbyszko. And Torquemada now begging off now. Long a little time with the team. They want to negotiate. They want to make some negotiations. As you can see, Larry Zbyszko, Pete Sanchez, and Jose Gonzalez are going to be going up against Stan the Man Stasiak, the man from the Orient, Torquemada, with his deadly feet, deadly salt, and the man from Portland, Oregon, I believe Stan the Man Stasiak. Kamata and Zbyszko, Nikolai and Sanchez, Gonzalez and Stasiak. They're all pairing off now. Big Nikolai gets ducked under, hits the top turnbuckle as Sanchez sneaks away. And it looked like they got Big Torquemada out. Big Tor went through the ropes. Big Nikolai in the corner now. Gonzalez. Oh, he caught a knee, Gonzalez. Stasiak in there with Pistol Pete Sanchez. Oh, he caught him. He clipped him. He clipped him with that hard punch. Watch this Stasiak. He's going to ram them together. Little do-si-do. Stasiak catches a forearm by Pistol Pete with a big right hand now. Ringing the bells of Stan Stasiak. Oh, Stasiak caught him with the hard punch. Threw him over the top rope. Now it's Gonzalez, Stasiak, and big Nikolai Volkov. Unbelievable. Big drop kick by Gonzalez. Another drop kick on Nikolai. Gonzalez holding his own here against these two big giants, Nikolai Volkov and big Stan the Man Stasiak. And the winner of this battle royal gets to meet the living legend Bruno Sammartino. Oh, he almost hit Nikolai with the big hot punch. Ducked out just in time. Oh, he blocked it again now. It's Gonzalez, faster than a whip. Forearm smash against big Nikolai Volkov. And it's Stasiak now moving in. It looks like trouble for Gonzalez. Big headbutt. Big boot to the midsection of Gonzalez. Backing up with a big one. Oh, he caught him in the midsection now. And they're easily going to take him over the top rope. These two men, Nikolai Volkov, Stan the Man Stasiak. Are they going to go at it? Looks like they're talking about something. No. All right, they're going to call the referee in. They're going to call the referees in now. I believe they're going to go for a coin toss here. I believe so. And the winner of this coin toss, big Nikolai Volkov. He will be meeting Bruno Sammartino.
And that was the Saturday, January 22nd, 1977 Battle Royal from the Boston Garden. 20-man over-the-top Battle Royal. The last man left in the ring gets $10,000 plus the chance to wrestle for the Worldwide Wrestling Federation title. And, of course, we all know who the champion was at that time, the living legend Bruno Sammartino, as you can see right here. And some of the great names that were in that Battle Royal, again, Pat Patterson from San Francisco, Nikolai Volkov, 315 pounds from Mongolia, Bruiser Brody, 300 pounds from Santa Fe, New Mexico, Gas House Gilbert, the father of Eddie Gilbert, Baron Mikkel Cicluna from the Isle of Malta, Tor Kamata, which you saw sitting in the corner for most of the match, Executioner number 1, Executioner number 2, Stan the Man Stasiak from Buzzard Creek, Oregon, Ken Patera from Portland, Oregon, Larry Zbyszko again, Jose Gonzalez, Pete Sanchez, Manuel Soto, SD Special Delivery Jones, Johnny Rodz, Johnny Rivera, Billy White Wolf, who incidentally tossed out Bruiser Brody, number 3 in the Battle Royal, and of course the Indian Chief, Chief J Strongbow. And that was the Battle Royal, and we got one more coming up, and we also going to have a great array of things happening in the Independence coming up for 2008. So I hear there's a lot of hot things going on, and we're also still trying to get that show going for the Lost Wrestlers of New England, Tony Rumble, Colin Laborski, and of course my good friend John Cronus, as well as the many others. There's one more, I believe, Pat Sullivan from Charlestown. That doll, we had a shot on that doll, and I'm going to show you the new doll, which is the classic superstars of professional wrestling. We can zoom in on that number 2. We got that number 1, number 2, Bruno Sammartino. This is the number 1 doll selling right now. And as you can see, the classics, superstars, and that's Bruno Sammartino. Comparing the dolls of years ago compared to this new doll, it's unbelievable. It really is. The features and everything else on this particular doll, the Bruno doll in the case, the autograph sort of faded. The Sharpie part let me down. I want to put this picture up of Arnold Skolin, better known as the Golden Boy. He used to manage Bruno Sammartino, who passed away last year. Arnold Skolin, he was a great agent in professional wrestling, and we want to just show this picture of Arnie. He was known as the Golden Boy. He managed Bruno Sammartino, was a great additive to the Sammartino era, and that was the Golden Boy, Arnie Skolin, which was a great manager for Bruno. All right, we got a couple more things we'd like to talk about. Another DVD which I picked up recently, which was the Triumph and the Tragedies of World Class Championship Wrestling. We can zoom in on that, camera 1, and get in on that nice and tight. That's I haven't really watched this DVD yet. I got this as a Christmas gift. So basically, I'm going to probably watch it within the next couple of days, let you know about it, and if it's worthwhile buying or not. Of course, I probably got most of the stuff on the old World Class when it used to be on Channel 25 in Boston. I used to tape a lot of that stuff, World Class Championship Wrestling. And also, great things are happening for Sunny. Remember Sunny, if you will. All you people remember Sunny, the golden girl of professional wrestling, who's making a comeback. She's got a big comeback. She just did the 15th annual for the WWE. She's doing an interview coming up on the 24/7, and basically she's really coming back. She's got her body back, if you will. Oh, what I tell you, she's good luck to Sunny though. Good luck. A lot of tragedies and what she went through in professional wrestling to be in the business at that particular time with all the things that the boys used to do to her and tease her and do things and put things in her bag we don't really want to talk about. But it wasn't good for Sunny in the beginning. They used to really play some real good ribs, if you will, on her, what I heard about. Basically got into the business through Smoky Mountain Wrestling, Tammy Lynn Fitch, and went a long way with Chris Candido and all the other great things now. All these great Mat Classics that you're going to see each and every week here on KBLE TV, the Grade 8. Don't hesitate. Turn us on Friday nights from 10 to 11. Catch the Empire Pro Wrestling Best of the Best. Stay tuned in from 11 to 12. Get some cookies and milk and dunk them and watch all the great matches from the Boston Garden, which I hope you're enjoying this week, the Best of the Battle Royals. Those go back, let me tell you, those go back 79, 77. And we got one more big one coming up we're going to show you at the end of the show. And if you have any comments or anything they want to talk about the future of some of the things going on in Empire Pro Wrestling, the Mat Classics, you can go to EmpireProWrest.com. We can throw that up there, let the people know what's going on. Empire Pro Wrest, that's a site that you can leave a message for me and let me know basically what you think of some of the Mat Classics from the Boston Garden. We get that cameraman to roll down and come start at Bruno and roll right down on these DVDs, the Great Mat Classics from the Boston Garden. You got Pedro Morales in the front there, and you have basically the camera being, there's Andre the Giant, and you got the fiery one, Fred Blassie, classy Freddie Blassie, and of course the All-American champion, Bob Backlund, who beat the Iron Sheik for the title, as well as the Valiant brothers, Handsome Jimmy and Luscious Johnny. They were a great, great tag team, as well as the Best of Madison Square Garden, which you're going to see maybe next week. We'll show some clips from Madison Square Garden, and hopefully you can call in, you can drop a line, and you can do all the great, great things right here, KBLE TV. If you want to see anything specific, if I got it, I'd like to show it to you. And let me give another yell out to the Dirties on Gage Ave. My buddy out there, he's watching it. I hope he's watching it again this week. It's a new show. Hope these people enjoyed the interview on Rocky Raymond interview on the Boston Bad Boys. Sort of a little controversy going on between the two personalities, who's who and what's what. And in the weeks to come, we are going to do a great special on the Boston Bad Boys, Tony Rumble and Rocky Raymond, Boston Bad Boy #1, Boston Bad Boy #2. We're going to talk about all the areas that we wrestled in, the AWA, the ICW, traveling to Puerto Rico and parts in between, the independents, as well as ICW. And we're going to tell you all the great guys that we wrestled, whether it had been Manuel Soto's brother, as well as Hercules Ayala and Roberto Soto, the Puerto Rican connection, the big feud that we had in the Northeast area, and then the other feud we had with, I believe it was I believe we wrestled the Midnight Rockers, Shawn Michaels and Marty Jannetty, way back in the day. I believe Shawn Michaels had to be about 21, 22. I don't even think he had hair on his chest. We were wrestling for AWA, ICW. So in the weeks to come, tune into the Mat Classics from the Boston Garden, as well as the Legends, because we're going to do a show specifically on the making and breaking of the Boston Bad Boys. That's right. So stay tuned in, and all the great things that are going to be happening here in Empire Pro Wrestling. Like I said, you can look us up. I haven't got too many tips on it, but now that you know all these Mat Classics are around, whether it be the Best of Madison Square Garden, the Best of the Valiant Brothers, the Best of Bob Backlund, the Best of Madison Square Garden, was all taken with this particular camera. Cameraman, see if you can zoom in on that EPW cam, if you will, better known as the Bruno Sammartino cam. At this particular time, as you can see, that autograph of the living legend Bruno Sammartino on that camera as well. All the footage that you see was shot with that particular camera, 8mm. Ectochrome Type A, bought at Beach Sales. When Beach Sales was on Shirley Avenue, all the great things. We're talking about Shirley Avenue. We had all the great things. We had the Havala bars. We had the Toll House cookies for a nickel, 5 cents. We had a great array of things. We had Revere Beach. Shirley Ave was great, and it kept me out of trouble going to the Boston Garden and filming with this 8mm camera, putting it back to way back to the 70s, I believe. Started filming Boston Garden in the 70s, and all the great matches that we started would be Lou Albano and Bruno in the cage. All the great matches, they're on all these great mat classics. Bruno Sammartino, Volume 1, 2, and 3. If there's any particular match that you might remember, you might have went to the Boston Garden through that period of time and watched the great days of professional wrestling with the promoter of Boston Garden, Abe Ford, and he had a great array of professional talent. And I hope that you enjoyed these Mat Classics this week. And we got one more big battle royal for you. And we're going to go to that momentarily. We're going to go to battle royal number 3 if the guy in the booth is ready. We're going to shoot that battle royal number 3. And hopefully we'll get to the big winner of this one and find out who the man was at that particular time to meet Bruno Sammartino for the championship on that given night.
Here's a big one. Here's a big one from the Boston Garden, the annual Battle Royal. Stan Hansen has entered this Battle Royal. As you can see, the executions are back. Superstar Billy Graham, Baron McAllister Clooner like to get into these Battle Royales. Tony Parisi and Louis Jourdain had entered this Battle Royal. Man Mountain Mike, Gorilla Monsoon, the Moncharian Giant. And Superstar Billy Graham's in there. And I believe Bobo Brazil from Detroit's in there. Gonzalez has returned for this annual Battle Royale. The Big Fish Passan is in there from Canada. There he is, the big Frank the Fish Passan. Baron McAllister Clooner got a hold of somebody's head. And the big cat, Ernie Ladd, is in there. Polish Power, Ivan Putski is in there. Haystack Calhoun is in there. From Morgan's Corner, Arkansas, Stan Hansen going at it with Big Bobo. The executioner holds on as Ivan Putski snapmares Big Ernie Ladd over the top rope. Crusher Blackwell's in there. A lot of these people have already been pushing up daisies are in there. And I believe Stan Hansen's outside the ring. Big Man Mountain Mike's in there. There goes Superstar Billy Graham. Bobo Brazil headbutted him over the top rope. Oh yeah. First man out in this one, Superstar. And Big Bobo hits him again with another headbutt now. And Superstar Billy Graham. A third one. Looks like a fourth one. Superstar Billy Graham is busted wide open by those headbutts. Kevin Sullivan, Gonzalez, they're all in there. Crusher Blackwell, Ernie Ladd, the Big Fish Passan. There's Superstar, Bloody Mess. Going back to the dressing room, calling an early night here. Sullivan got Ernie Ladd and Haystack Calhoun holding on. Monsoon and Stan Hansen. And we've got Baron McAllister Clooner trying to roll out the Big Man Mountain Mike. To no avail, they got in the corner. I believe Executioner tried to hit Sullivan, but Sullivan ducked. Baron McAllister Clooner's in there still. Ernie Ladd and Louis Jourdain going at it in the corner. Monsoon's in there chopping away at the Big Baron. Haystack Calhoun got his hands on Stan Hansen. The Executioners break it up. And we got Ivan Putski with the Big Fish Passan. Passan scoops Putski over the top rope now. And the Battle Royal's going crazy here at the Boston Garden as Stan Hansen and Monsoon are going at it here in the middle of the ring. The closest side to your screen, we got Big Haystack Calhoun and Ernie the Cat Ladd. The Executioners got their hands on somebody. I believe that's Rocky Tomeo, and they're going to shoot him over momentarily. Big Gorilla Monsoon getting the boots put to him by Frank Passan. Stan Hansen helping out in the corner. Louis Jourdain, Tony Parisi. The executioner's got a hold of haystacks. They're going to roll them out very gingerly as Ernie the Cat Lad and Bobo Brazil go at it. Monsoon's trying to get a hold on because Frank Poisson and the big Baron McAllister Clone are trying to get rid of him, and the executioners go flying out on the other side. Gonzalez is holding on again. Bobo Brazil walking around as he got the big Baron McAllister Clone. The executioners were eliminated very quickly by Gonzalez's dropkick. Monsoon with a big chop on Ernie Ladd as Louis Sardan helps out. Tony Parisi and Bobo Brazil in the corner. We got, that Skandor Akbar. He's in there. Louis Sardan on the back of the head of Frank Poisson. Bobo Brazil's down as Big Ernie Ladd wants to level him. He's measuring him now as Frank the Fish Poisson got a hold of Big Bobo Brazil. Ernie Ladd holding his head. Monsoon and Stan Hansen going at it. Kevin Sullivan holding on. This action is crazy. These are the annual Battle Royales from the Boston Garden. These are the great mat classics where you'll never see these again. Big Bobo Brazil and Baron McAllister Clone. Skandor Akbar directing traffic. Ernie Ladd begging off from the big Bobo Brazil. Akbar's in there with Parisi now. Gonzalez and Frank Poisson. Bobo Brazil clips Poisson. He got him in a chokehold now. Stan Hansen and Louis Sardan. Ernie Ladd and Kevin Sullivan. Gonzalez catching his wind. Skandor Akbar's in there still. Sardan and Parisi, the tag team of Parisi and Sardan, are still in there. Stan Hansen. There goes the big Gorilla Monsoon. Monsoon got shot over the ropes down in that melee. And it looks like there goes Frank Poisson over the back of Bobo Brazil. Stan Hansen caught Bobo. Ernie Ladd going at it. And it looks like Bobo Brazil setting up a big headbutt. There goes the cat. Ernie Ladd over the top rope backwards. Outside the ring, you got Tom McNeely and John Stanley directing traffic. Sullivan and Hansen in the corner. Bobo Brazil and Baron McAllister Clone. Parisi and Sardan is still in there. Skandor Akbar as well as Gonzalez. There goes Bobo. Bobo got shot over the top rope by the big Baron, but he connects with Ernie Ladd. Gives him another shot to the head. And we have another six-man tag. No, we got a tag team. Skandor Akbar, Stan the Lariat Hansen against Gonzalez, Parisi, and Sardan. What are we going to do here now as we see them going at it right here? It's Hansen and Parisi. Gonzalez ducking away on Akbar. Parisi and Sardan working over Hansen. And it looks like Akbar wants no part of this action. Sardan and Parisi working away on Stan Hansen. Gonzalez holding Akbar in the corner while they go to work on the big cowboy Stan Hansen, the Lariat. The man that broke San Martino's neck. They're trying to shoot him over the top rope, but he holds on. Here comes Akbar to break it up. Sardan's still working on Hansen. Parisi's working on Akbar. Gonzalez steps in now, trying to get the big man over the top rope. Two giant men. Look at the size of Stan Hansen. And it looks like he's going to throw Sardan over the top rope. There goes Sardan by Hansen. There goes Parisi. Left in the ring now, you got Akbar. Akbar, Hansen, but we got Parisi back in. Akbar holding on, big boot to the midsection. Akbar throws him out again. And Gonzalez hits him with that big drop kick. There goes Skandor Akbar. A lot of these people might remember him from Global Wrestling. There's the Lariat. There's the Lariat sending Gonzalez. And the winner of the Battle Royale, Stan the Lariat Hansen.
And that was the Battle Royal Saturday, May 8, 1976. And that was tonight's official lineup. Crusher Blackwell was appearing, 425 pounds from Georgia. Louis Cyr, 285 from the Yukon. Rocky Tamayo from Peru. Baron Mikel Cicluna from the Isle of Malta. Everyone knows the old Baron. If you know anything about old-time wrestling. Executioner number 1, Killer Kowalski, as well as Executioner number 2. Stan the Lariat Hansen, first appearance in Boston. Skandor Akbar, the King Ernie Ladd, Superstar Billy Graham, who was the first one eliminated. We had Gorilla Monsoon, the Manchurian Giant, as well as Man Mound Mike. Bobo Brazil was there, the big man that headbutted Superstar outside the ring. Jose Gonzalez, Kevin Sullivan, Irish Pat Barrett, Louis Cerdan, Tony Parisi, Ivan Putski, Louis Cerdan, as well as Haystack Calhoun. You remember Haystack Calhoun? Can you believe it? Haystack Calhoun, I don't believe it. Haystack Calhoun was in that. And I hope you people enjoyed all these great Mad Classics from the Boston Garden. All the great things that you possibly could have see, because you can't see them anywhere else. You can only see them on cable right here, KBLE TV, the Great 8. That's right, you can't see these Mad Classics anywhere else but here at the Great 8. In these last few minutes we have on the show, we're going to talk about this was a bodybuilding thing that I pulled out of the archives, if you will. It was called the Bruno Sammartino course by Bruno Sammartino, or the world's mightiest man, most developed and strongest athlete. The cameraman, I don't know, it's not really in great shape, but it was a long time ago where you could get this in a magazine, which was the bodybuilding course of Bruno Sammartino course. And I actually went, I was in woodworking. I basically, you can see, if you can zoom in on that, cameraman, the bench, or they showed you how to build a bench press, and there's that wooden bench press on the bottom. Back in the day, you know, Bruno, an old bench press, you won't see that kind of equipment around these days in the gyms. You have all the great equipment. And that was a long time ago with Bruno Sammartino. And we got a great thing here. We're going to talk about the Wrestling Chatterbox with an old friend of mine from New York City, Georgianne Macropolis. If you want to get her newsletter, she's been doing it for many years. Many stories, great stories, talking about where all these wrestlers are going to be doing autograph sessions, all the events of the WWF, as well as TNA now, I believe, as well as the birthdays of the wrestlers and all the great things that she's done. And Georgianne, you've done a great job over the years, and if it's time to say goodbye after the next year, then so be it. You did a great job. I'm going to be sending you some great DVDs, because I know you were a great wrestling fan of all the great wrestlers. You knew them all, basically. And getting back to the picture, this last one of Sonny, we can take a shot of Georgianne Macropolis' cover of the Chatterbox. And if you'd like to get the Chatterbox, we're going to throw the address up in order for you to, if you want to order it. It's a great newsletter. Wrestling Chatterbox, 2344 30th Drive, Astoria, New York, 11102 3252. And all the great stories, like you said on Sunday. She just had a championship, 1222, with the WSU, independent, I believe. First appearance that she made was 12/03/96, and there's it says in the newsletter that Sonny didn't look a day over 25. Now, getting back to some of the great Mad Classics that we saw this week, if you'd like to see any of the great Mad Classics from the Boston Garden, if I can provide them to you, you can drop a line down here to KBLE TV, the Great 8, or you can look us up on EmpireProRest.com. Drop us a line. Let us know which particular Mad Classics that you'd like to see, whether it be the great Madison Square Garden battles. We got Bruno Sammartino winning the title back from Stan Stasiak. We got Bruno losing the title in 1971, Madison Square Garden, where Bruno actually lost the title. First time ever getting beat in Madison Square Garden. We have the great Valiant Brothers, Handsome Jimmy and Luscious Johnny, all their appearances in Boston, as well as the best of Bob Backlund. Now, the best of Bob Backlund, he's kind of a forgotten wrestler, but Bob Backlund, back in the day, was like a Kurt Angle type wrestler. He was an amateur-style AAU champion from Minnesota. originally coming out of the Vern Gagne camp of professional wrestling, coming over to the WWF at that particular time, beating the Iron Sheik, sort of like the All-American boy. Some great, great matches with Bob Backlund against Ivan Koloff. The feud he had with superstar Billy Graham in Boston, shifted to Providence Civic Center, came back to Boston in the steel cage. We got that. We have all the great, great matches, the best ones of Andre the Giant, the time he broke his leg in Boston Garden against Killer Khan. If you wrestling fans go that far back, you got to be my age. And, you know, I might be heavy in my seat, but I'm still light on my feet. I used to run up those stairs to get Section 88 with my friend Danny Garbett, better known as Dan Howard, and the Empire Pro Wrestling announcer. He was on the great Legends of Professional Wrestling here at KBL, ETV, the Great 8. And we used to go up there with this particular camera, run up there, Section 88. We used to get the seats from 8 Ford, go right down there, get the tight shot on the tripod, Super 8 camera, 8mm, film all these great matches like you've seen today on the Legends of Professional Wrestling, those great battle royals, all those great names. Half of those guys, I don't even think too many of them are still wrestling. I don't think many of them are wrestling on the great, great, great matches from the Boston Garden. Unbelievable. Like I said, if you'd like to get that newsletter for the last year that's going to be active, Georgianne Macropolis has been doing that for many, many years, many, many stories and photos on some great stories. She always comes up with a great story, and like I said, right into Georgianne, get the last couple of chatter boxes that she's going to put out, because this lady knows her wrestling. She's been a wrestling historian herself for many, many years, going back to the old days of Madison Square Garden, where Vince McMahon Jr. was just announcing. That's right. Oh yeah, Georgianne got all the great information on professional wrestling, and I would say she should write a book, because she knows some great, great stories. I mean, all these wrestlers are coming out with books. Baptista got a book. I just got the Bret Hart book also. I'm going to read that. Just finishing the Bruiser Brody book, like we mentioned earlier in the show. That Bruiser Brody book is amazing. Honestly, it could have gone a little more in different areas, but they had a great, great, great background on Bruiser Brody. He was a sports writer back in the day in San Antonio, and moving his way all the way up. And like I said, Bruiser Brody was one of the deadliest men in the ring on a shoot. He didn't take nothing, and he really gave the people their money's worth. Whether it was down in World Class with the many, many feuds with Abdullah the Butcher, AWA, all the great areas that he was in, as well as Japan. There's great, great stories about Japan as far as him going from Inoki to Bubba. And let me close out with saying thank yous all for watching all the great, great Mad Classics from the Boston Garden and the Great 8, as well as the Empire Pro Wrestling Best of the Best. We hope to bring you some more shows in 2008. So watch us every Friday night. We're going to be on from 10 to 11, as well as 11 to midnight. Legends of Professional Wrestling. You're going to get it all right here. How can you hesitate? Turn it on Channel 8, the Great 8. All the great things are going to be happening in 2008, and have a great, great, safe 2008, and all the great things that we can go down and talk on and on about all these Mad Classics. If you want to see any particular bouts, please write into Empire Pro Wrestling on the computer. Let us know what you want to see. We got 9 different DVDs. You can tell us about what you want to see. We can write back to you. We can go back and forth, and you'll know exactly what Empire Pro Wrestling is going to do in 2008. I believe we're going to hopefully be back at Marshfield Fair. Hopefully Thompson International Speedway, the yearly show we do in Connecticut, as well as any other you local yokel fundraisers out there that would like to do a fundraiser with professional wrestling. Just write us at Empire Pro Wrestling, and we'll come to you in living color, right here at the Great 8. So let me tell you something. If you want the best in wrestling action, and you're tired of watching all that stuff on TV that they talk on the mic for 20, 30 minutes of talking. You're going to get hardcore wrestling. This is what I call hardcore wrestling. The mat classics, the legends of professional wrestling, the guys like Bruiser Brody you're going to see. The time he come in and wrestled Bruno. Stan Hansen wrestling Bruno in Boston when he broke Bruno's neck with the lariat in Madison Square Garden. As well as all the great footage that you're going to see right here on Legends of Professional Wrestling. See you next time. Hope to see you soon. We're going to be back with another show. Watch it. We're going to do the best of the Boston Bad Boys. We're going to come back with part 2 on steroids. We got a lot of things happening right here. So let me tell you something. Tune in each and every week. The Legends of Professional Wrestling right here. Be there or be square.